Thank you very much for your comments and being here. And I want to hear you, and maybe Mr. Sweener first, but all of you on how the bill address, or if it does address it well, the effect of, or the possible effect of smoking cannabis in public. The way I understand it, where it's legal and possible to smoke tobacco in public, it will be legal and possible to smoke cannabis in public. And I know that, you know, it will be regulated by different provinces and or municipalities. But I'm curious to hear your perspective on that in terms of well, health effect, of course, but also normalization maybe on the act of smoking cannabis versus other. So I don't know if you have any input on that.
Sure. I mean, I spent many years on legislation dealing with secondhand smoke and restricting smoking in many places, as did the chair. And what's going to happen in terms of public use of marijuana is going to be dictated by the provinces, by municipalities, as it's happened with cigarette smoking. One of the problems when we talk about the misinformation of people not distinguishing between relative risks is we're already seeing municipalities that are saying we're going to treat vaping the same as we treat smoking. If we actually look at issues of relative risk, there is no basis for doing something like that. And that merely further confuses the public and gives less reason to use the less hazardous product. If people are being misled by what they see in the community, and this is a situation we had with cigarette smoking when I first got involved. I mean, it was everywhere. You saw lifestyle ads everywhere. People smoked in elevators, in grocery stores, on airplanes. There were no warnings of any consequence on the packs. It was no wonder that we had 42% of 15 to 19-year-olds smoking daily in the early 1980s. The message from the environment told people this was fine. If we send the message to from the environment that there is no difference between smoking and using a non-combustible product, we're again misleading people. What's going to happen? Well, logically, you're going to end up more people smoking a product rather than vaping a product or using some other lower risk way of getting it. So we're running into that problem now with issues of nicotine. I think we need to avoid it on issues of vaping, of marijuana. And one of the problems we have is that, if we don't even have regulations, if it isn't even allowed yet, what do we do? And what do we do to the people who are already vaping to get their marijuana?
Okay. Okay. Whichever one of you is going to respond.
I don't know. Oh, there we go. Our organization is concerned about an increase of exposure to secondhand cannabis smoke, particularly within multi-unit housing. This is an issue that has literally been heating up over the last few months. It's been in the news quite a lot. Here in Ontario, the government has announced there virtually will be no public consumption, smoking or vaping of cannabis. And we are really concerned that if people are going to be driven indoors, there's going to be an issue for folks that don't have a backyard or a balcony. They're going to be using it, probably smoking it inside their homes. And the number one reason why the public contacts the Non-Smokers' Rights Association is because of unwanted exposure to smoke in their own homes. And so again, it goes back to public education about vaping versus smoking versus other kinds of consumption, and encouraging governments to really reach out and do some public education and to permit. Now, government doesn't have jurisdiction within people's private homes, but landlords and condominium boards and housing co-ops and so forth can be educated so that when they start putting in place no smoking policies, which are becoming more and more common, it's not a blanket ban. It's a no smoking policy, not a no vaping policy. There's no science that's indicating that vapor, this aerosol, is traveling through cracks or gaps or ventilation units. There's no reason to be banning vaping inside people's private homes.
Oh, one more? Okay, go ahead.
Just a quick one more. Madame Beck, if I may, do we have, because I was trying to find scientific data on because we do have that for tobacco. So what is the real risk to others on second-hand smoke of cannabis? Do we have that kind of solid data, or does it exist, or is it too early to know, or is it how does it compare if you do have that information?
Right. Well, because it's been illegal and continues to be in most of the world, we don't have the same kind of robust body of evidence as we do for tobacco. However, we do know that there's something like 33 similar toxic components in cannabis smoke that are in tobacco smoke. California put it on its Proposition 65, which it's its list of known carcinogens and chemicals known to cause birth defects. Health Canada does have a warning, one of its proposed warnings, but people don't appreciate. They think, oh, cannabis, it's green, it's organic, it's natural. It doesn't have the chemicals added to it that those evil tobacco companies add into cigarettes. And it's absolutely incorrect. It's the combustion that causes all of those harmful byproducts. And so we have a lot of work to do. And I'm quite shocked that I haven't seen anything yet from the government. I've gone to their website and there's information there, but we need mass and social media. It should have been happening months ago, educating people, because exposure to any kind of smoke is harmful to the lungs, it's harmful to the heart, it's harmful to lots of parts of the body.
Okay. Thank